Marissa Pannoni, your host on Fox 2 News. Today, we are bringing on one big issue in our country, but even in our community, heroin and marijuana. These deadly drugs are becoming more and more popular and are causing death rates to soar. These highly addictive drugs are a problem among teens, according to 72% of teens surveyed. They are also becoming much more accessible to people today. We have our reporter, Jasmine Chang, on the scene.
Thank you, Marissa. Today, we're on the scene of Janie Smith's house, and we interviewed her mom to see if she had anything to say and if we could get any more information.
I found Janie laying on her bed after I got home. She wasn't breathing and had foam coming out of her mouth.
Minutes later, paramedics came onto the scene and they reported that Janie had overdosed on heroin just minutes earlier.
I didn't know what to do. I tried to wake her, but I found a needle in her arm.
The police found that there were 4 men in charge of Janie's death. These men gave Janie 2 grams of heroin the night before she died, and doctors had found that it was laced with fentanyl, which made it really too strong for her to handle. And then she overdosed and died the next morning.
I miss you so much, Janie. I wish I knew what was going on. Every day is so hard without you. I wish you could come back.
Now to Chloe with some shocking statistics about heroin use.
Based on a recent survey at Rochester Adams High School, we interviewed 25 students, and 68% says that marijuana should be legalized in Michigan. The next question is, do you know anyone who smokes marijuana? And 64% said that they knew someone who smokes marijuana. Is marijuana a problem amongst teens today? 72% of the kids that we surveyed said yes. Question, we then talked about the drug heroin. So 100% said that they don't think that heroin is as popular as marijuana. Next question is, do you know anyone who has used the drug heroin? So 12% said that they do know someone who has used heroin, which is pretty alarming. So it was pretty split in half. 52% of kids said that yes, heroin is a problem in our community today. Thank you, Chloe. You're so beautiful. Now we have here Dr. Flowney from Harvard University.
Good morning, Chloe. Today I'm here to show you all the short-term and long-term effects of these illegal drugs and what they can have on you. Short-term effects of marijuana are loss of identity, confusion, severe anxiety or paranoia, and an increased risk of HIV and AIDS. For heroin, some short-term effects would be like marijuana's effects, but it also includes nausea, itchy feelings, and slowing of breathing and your heart rate. The long-term effects of both are lung disease, infections in your heart lining and valves, addiction, HIV and AIDS, collapsed lungs, and lower life satisfaction. If teens and adults thought that these effects before they were using, I guarantee that they wouldn't use or they would quit.
Thank you, Emma. Go. There are many different ways to consume these drugs. So, in marijuana, many people use hand pipes, and others use bongs, also known as water pipes. Also, people roll them up and use blunts and smoke them, and through edibles, which is cooking them through different substances so that they can consume them. Now on to heroin. So heroin, there are 2 main ways that people use them. There's a powder form in which they snort, but the most popular way is injection through the arm or with an IV.
On to the interviews with Deputy Hack, where we asked him his opinions on the 2 drugs.
Okay. Do you think marijuana should be legalized in Michigan?
No, I do not.
Why not?
Because I think that anytime you put a drug into the public's hands, a lot of people are irresponsible with that. Mm-hmm. And I think that will lead to more deaths on the highways. And a lot of times marijuana, will cause like cancer. Yeah. So no, I think that marijuana should be illegal. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just because I think if it is legalized, and I don't know what the statistics are, I think it's too early to know the statistics in Colorado. But I think you're going to find out that the statistics prove that having marijuana legalized will cause more problems than, just like alcohol. So,
Do you know anyone who smokes marijuana?
absolutely. I think we all know people who smoke marijuana. A lot of people have marijuana cards, okay? Do I condone that? Yeah, I'm not a doctor. So if a doctor says that they can smoke marijuana and it helps with their disability, then you know what? That's their choice, right? But also, I'm not naive, and I know a lot of these people get marijuana cards that don't have ailments, and they do it, backdoor, just so they could smoke marijuana legally. So I think that there needs to be some better checks and balances when it comes to that. Legalizing marijuana for, say, somebody who has cancer that may need it. I don't know. I wouldn't do it, if but I'm not going to judge somebody that's a doctor says medically it can help them.
Do you think it's a problem in teens today? Like
Marijuana?
Yeah.
I think yes, huge problem. I think marijuana has been decriminalized, which means that the police don't take you to jail anymore. The police just basically get rid of it. They write you a ticket, which is still a misdemeanor, but it's more socially accepted by the community than it once was when I was younger. Marijuana was like, pretty scary stuff back when I was coming up, because everybody's like, oh, but now it's more socially accepted, and I think a lot of people think it's okay, because of the medical marijuana it legalized in Colorado. I think people justify it, and I think that's the big deal there.
Do you think it's a problem
Heroin?
in our community?
I think heroin is a problem in the United States, not just in this community. I think heroin is a problem in every community. Heroin, you do it one time, you have a very likelihood of being addicted to that, and it destroys your life. I've seen people in this community that have died from heroin. I carry a box of Narcan, okay, which if I go to a scene and a person's dying of heroin, I administer this to bring them back to life. And then a lot of times that might be 9 o'clock in the morning, and by 6 o'clock at night, I'm doing it again. And they're dead, they're dying. So that's how powerful heroin is. And yes, it is a problem in the United States, in every community in the United States.
Now onto the interview with Mr. Bondi, where we asked him his opinions on the two drugs.
Do you think marijuana should be legalized in Michigan?
That's an excellent microphone. No, I don't think it should be legalized. I think that there are some uses for it, some medicinal uses that are reasonable. The concern that I would have personally with it being legalized is that the abuse that it would have is being a gateway drug. After so much usage of it, it takes more and more or stronger, heavier amounts of THC to obtain the desired results. And if people aren't getting that, then they're going to move to stronger, more addictive drugs. So while marijuana in and of itself is not the worst thing to consume, the things after it can be pretty bad.
Give me a second.
Sure.
Do you know anyone who smokes marijuana?
Like currently, like actively, or I've known people that have. I've had friends, people I went to high school with, relatives that I've known. I had an uncle that's a habitual user, so yes.
Do you think it's a problem amongst teens today?
I don't know. I'm assuming that it's still being used. I can't imagine that it's changed much from my time when I was in high school. So I'm assuming it's still being misused and overly used.
On the subject, do you think heroin is more popular than marijuana?
I would say no. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any statistics to back it up, but just based upon the difficulty it would seem to get it, and the strength of it, and the significantly worse side effects, I would assume that marijuana is more popular than heroin.
Do you think that heroin is an issue in our community?
I don't know. I've not really heard of anything with heroin specifically in the community, so I don't. I would say no, but again, I don't know.
Thank you for watching Fox 2 News. That is all we have for you today. I'm your reporter, Marissa Pinoni, signing off.
Okay, and then the next question is, do you know anyone who uses or has used marijuana? Okay. I'm just gonna... I miss you so much. What the heck?
We're bringing on one big issue in our country, but even in our community.
Okay.